The National Bureau of Statistics has announced that Nigeria headline inflation rate dropped to 24.48% in January 2025, following the rebasing of the Consumer Price Index. The Statistician General of the Federation and Chief Executive Officer of the National Bureau of Statistics, Adeyemi Adeniran, disclosed this in Abuja during the launch of the report of the rebasing of the CPI. Adeniran also revealed that the food index for January 2025 stood at 110.03, resulting in a year-on-year food inflation rate of 26.08%. The rebasing of the CPI aims to provide a more accurate reflection of inflationary trends in the country.
Under the CPI, important enhancements have been made to the methodology. Some of the improvements include the transition of the latest version of the classification method that we are using, which is the classification of individual consumption according to purpose, which we usually call COICOP 2018 version. This brings household expenditure on insurance and financial services on board, which now has a weight of 0.5% relative to the total household expenditure. Now the result. The all-item index, which is used to measure headline inflation for January 2025, was 110.7. 110.7. That's the index. And this index resulting in a headline inflation of 24.48% on a year-on-year basis. For January 2025. This increase was mainly driven by food and non-alcoholic beverages, restaurants and accommodation services, as well as transport. The food index for January 2025 was 110.03. That's the index. And this index resulted in a food inflation rate of 26.08% year-on-year, which is all items, less farm produce, and energy. This index for January 2025 was 110.7, and this index gave rise to a core inflation rate of 22.59% year-on-year. In line with improvements made to the reporting of the CPI, going forward from now, NBS will be publishing some new special indices to inform policymakers. This is based on demand and requests from our stakeholders while we are engaging them during the exercise. So for these special indices, when we compare January to base year of 2024, for farm produce, we have the inflation rate of 10.50% farm produce. For energy, we have 8.9% inflation rate for January. And for services index, we have 10.41%. For good index is 10.79%. And for imported food index, it produced inflation rate of 11.47%.